Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee with Consultants. My name is Linda Tobiasen, early childhood mental health consultant.
I'm Allison McMullen, early childhood mental health consultant as well.
And we're here to bring you parenting tips and tricks in the time it takes to have a cup of coffee. Our topic this month is social and emotional development. So, Allison, what is social emotional development and why does it matter?
Yes. Well, did you know that although there are different milestones like for physical and language development, there's also milestones for social and emotional development as well. So, social development speaks to the child's ability to create and sustain meaningful relationships with other individuals, adults, and children. Whereas emotional development, that speaks to a child's ability to express, recognize, and manage their emotions, as well as respond to other people's emotions appropriately. The reason why this development is important is because it influences a child's self confidence, empathy, and the ability to develop meaningful and lasting relationships. And it also adds a sense of importance and values to those around them. So these skills help our children form and build relationships, help with decision making, build social awareness, and so much more. So, Linda, do you know how we can measure social emotional development and make sure our kids are on track?
That's a great question. There are great resources out there, such as 0 to 3, the CDC, and Child Mind Institute.
And don't worry, we're going to cover all these milestones with you guys today so that way you have a starting point. I'm going to show my screen very quickly here. And we'll start right here. We'll move us out of the way.
I love
So
that
as you
video.
can, thank you. It's from um, the National Institute of Play. And as we can see here, it breaks down different developmental stages. So as we can see at the top, there's physical and motor, cognitive. We'll focus on that little red piece, social, emotional, language, and play. So Linda, can you start us off with infancy and how infants can really benefit from social emotional learning so young?
Yes. At this stage, infants are lifting their heads and rolling around, but as early as 3 months, emotionally, they are calming themselves and soothing themselves by sucking on their hands and expressing discomfort or contentment. They will exhibit interest from outside and will gaze outside to the outside world and also maybe look at caregivers' faces.
And then around 6 months, emotionally, infants are beginning to respond to affection with smiling, cooing, or settling. They'll begin to express anger, frustration, or protest with either distinct cries or facial expressions. And they'll also be able to recover from distress when they're comforted by their caregiver. Socially, they're beginning to imitate some movements and facial expressions, such as smiling or frowning. They'll engage in socially reciprocal interaction, so maybe peekaboo or passing or rolling a ball. And they will seek engagement with vocalization, emotional expressions, as well as physical contact. So a lot of smiling, a lot of hand touches, things like that.
At 9 months, emotionally, infants have a strategy for self soothing, intentionally communicating feelings to others, and demonstrating a preference for caregivers. Socially, they are able to distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar voices, mimic others' gestures, and show some stranger wariness.
And by 12 months, emotionally, they're able to use gestures to communicate their feelings, like clapping when they're excited. They'll look to caregivers for information about new situations in their environment or with people. And they'll respond to people's emotions, like smiling when their parents are happy, or displaying a somber slash serious face in response to sadness from their parent. And socially, they will give objects to seek help from their parents, like maybe giving you a shoe, or will offer an object to initiate interaction, so maybe giving you a book for you to read. And they will also look for familiar people when they are named. So much is happening within the first 12 months, socially and emotionally, in that lifespan.
I never knew all this happened in just 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's look to 18 months. as we can see here, it mentions experimentation. By 15 months, emotionally, children start to show affection with kisses and demonstrate cautious or fearful behavior such as clinging or hiding behind their caregiver. Socially, they enjoy looking at picture books, engage in parallel play with peers, and seek attention from others, especially their caregivers.
They'll start to demonstrate self-soothing strategies and share humor with peers or adults, like laughing or making funny faces. And they'll start to hand things to others during play. So how around earlier in life at 12 months, they gave books to us. Now they're going to start giving you objects to initiate play. They'll also react with concern when someone is injured, and they'll start to assert their autonomy.
That's the fun part.
Yes.
By 24 months, emotionally, children begin to exhibit embarrassment, pride, shame, guilt, and empathy. They will attempt to exert independence frequently and name or understand words of basic emotions. Socially, they enjoy being around other children, respond to being corrected and praised, and will take pride and pleasure in their independent accomplishments.
By 36 months, emotionally, children will express affection openly and verbally. They'll express feelings through pretend play and drama and show pride in learning new things or new experiences. Socially, children will help with simple household tasks and can wait their turn playing a game and share without being prompted.
At 48 months, children will convey emotional experiences in pretend play, comply with basic cultural rules or emotional expression, express distress or anger with words. Socially, they will have a preferred friend, expressed interests, likes, and dislikes, and engage in with cooperative play with other children.
Or at 60 months, so 5 years. Emotionally, children will express 2 or more emotions at the same time. They will show an awareness of and interest in personal successes and show an increased confidence associated with greater independence and autonomy. Socially, they will want to please their friends. They value rules and social interactions and participate in group activities that require assuming roles.
Wow, that's a lot to look for in our children in the first 5 years. How can we, as caregivers, promote all of these skills in our children?
Well, Linda, from about infancy for 0 to 2 months, we can nurture our child when they're crying. Sometimes it may take 20 minutes to 2 hours, but infants at this stage expect for their parents to respond, no matter how frustrating it may feel to us. By responding, though, we are nurturing their social and emotional development. By responding and trying, no matter how frustrated we may feel, it is making our child feel important, and they will learn to trust that their parents will care for them. It's really important to take care of yourself during this time period, though.
Good point, Allison. And from 2 to 6 months, play simple games like peekaboo with your children. These games are linked to social and emotional development as well. By our interaction with our child, we are encouraging healthy development by making them feel loved and secure. We are showing them that we're interested in them and having fun. This will help foster positive relationships for the future.
From 6 to 9 months, remember that it's okay for your child to exhibit shy or stranger danger type behaviors. They may hide behind you, whimper, or cling to you, and that's actually a sign of positive social and emotional development, believe it or not. It may feel frustrating as parents when we're trying to introduce them to new people, especially if we're trying to transition into a daycare or even a babysitter. But by your child exhibiting these behaviors, we can see the healthy attachment your child has with you. This also provides opportunities for your child to learn how to trust other caregivers, such as teachers or grandparents, other people besides you.
And from 9 to 12 months, encourage your child to play with or play near other children. Encourage them to try again if they're unsuccessful the first time, and scaffold when appropriate to do so.
From 12 to 18 months, begin to notice your child's behavior and ask yourself the question, why is my child behaving this way? It's important to remember that at this stage, behavior is communication. It is really in general, but especially early on when our children are still learning the words or even hand signals to communicate with us. So behavior can be our biggest indicator of a need or desire for our child. So start to inquire what that behavior might mean. So if they're banging on the refrigerator door, maybe there's something in there that they want. Maybe they're bored and need some stimulation by making sound. Sometimes it takes a lot of guesswork, but remember to look out for those answers. And it's okay to acknowledge your own frustrations during this time and when you need a break here too.
Behavior is communication. I love that so much.
Mhm.
Foster emotional development in preschool age children. Emotional development and social skills are essential for school readiness. Children will need to transition from one activity to another, cooperate with other children, and follow directions. Caregivers play a vital role in the development in early childhood. Here are ways to help our children develop social emotional skills. We can be a positive role model. Demonstrate for them when you're out in public, when you're talking to other people, you be the role model. Read books with social emotional plots. Some books that I love are the Little Spot books. The Little
Mhm.
Spot books have all of the different emotions, and they even have little plushes to go along with them for your children to identify how they're feeling. Also, books about sharing. Piggy and Elephant books are great. Children love them, and they teach different social emotional skills. This one is Should I Share My Ice Cream? We can give our children choices. We want them to feel independent enough and give them the confidence to make their own choices. We can teach them empathy. So if they do maybe hit another child, how is that child feeling now that you hit them or that you took their toy away? Teach cooperation by playing board games. You can do that at home or in the school setting. They need to know how to take turns and be with other children and wait. And use positive discipline strategies, such as setting rules and expectations, consequences, offering praise for positive behavior. And when children act out, as I said before, you can promote empathy. Most importantly, let them play. Sit back and allow them to problem solve with peers. Don't jump in too soon. Allow them to figure out how to build that tower and allow them to resolve conflicts on the playground.
Social and emotional development during early childhood is essential for developing and maintaining healthy relationships during childhood and adult life. Early experiences shape these skills. Caregivers can be role models for these skills, reinforce positive behaviors, and teach empathy. So, can one's social emotional development age appear different than their cognitive development age? And yes, it can. I know sometimes it may feel very frustrating if our children are so cognitively bright, they know all their colors and shapes, and it's like, oh, they're so smart, but why are they still having tantrums? Well, maybe their cognitive development is either exceeding expectations or maybe they're right where they're supposed to be, whereas their social emotional development is either still playing catch up, or maybe it's right where it's supposed to be. There's some challenges that can affect this social emotional development, such as anxiety, trauma, ASD, autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and attachment problems. If you identify a delay in any social emotional development, please contact a professional to provide support or an intervention if needed.
Thanks so much, Allison. That's such an important question that I'm sure a lot of parents are wondering. Well, that is it for our month of March. And if you have any questions, please always feel free to reach out to us. You can email us or contact us at info@thefloridacenter.org. Bye.